the Puppet Collector. In the quiet town of Ashwick, nestled on the English moors, there was a workshop that everyone avoided. The doll-maker's house, as it was called, belonged to a reclusive old man named Harold Grimsby. Harold was an artisan of unparalleled skill, crafting life-sized puppets so lifelike that they seemed to breathe. Children whispered that the puppets watched them as they walked by, their glass eyes glinting with malice. When Harold died suddenly one stormy night, the townsfolk breathed a collective sigh of relief. The workshop was locked up and left to decay, its dark windows staring blankly into the village square. Months later, a young woman named Eliza inherited the workshop. She was Harold's distant niece, a struggling artist from London. Eliza had never met him, but the thought of owning property was too good to pass up. "It'll make a great studio," she told herself, ignoring the unease, eyes in the realtor's eyes as she handed her the keys. Eliza arrived on a misty morning, the air thick with the scent of damp wood and decay. The workshop loomed before her, its peeling paint and broken shutters giving it an air of foreboding. Inside, it was worse. Dust-coated shelves filled with tools, scraps of fabric, and rows of puppets seated eerily on chairs. Their faces were unnervingly detailed, with expressions frozen somewhere between joy and terror. She set to work cleaning, avoiding the puppets as much as possible. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. At night, she heard faint whispers echoing through the halls. Sometimes she swore the puppets had moved, just slightly, but enough to notice. One evening, while exploring the workshop's basement, Eliza found a hidden door. Behind it was a small, dimly lit room filled with journals. Harold's meticulous handwriting filled the pages, detailing the creation of each puppet. One entry caught her attention. "They called me mad, laughed at me, stole from me. But now, they are mine, bound to my art for eternity." Eliza's hands trembled as she flipped through the journal, realizing each puppet was named after someone Harold had known. Customers, competitors, and even neighbors. Then she saw it, her own mother's name. Panicking, she ran upstairs. The puppets were no longer sitting quietly. They stood, their heads tilted in unison, glass eyes following her every move. "Eliza," one of them rasped, its mouth moving stiffly. It was the voice of her mother. "He trapped us here. Free us." Heart pounding, Eliza grabbed a hammer and smashed the nearest puppet. A scream pierced the air, and the figure crumbled into dust. The others began to writhe, their faces contorting with rage and despair. As she destroyed the puppets one by one, the workshop seemed to come alive. The walls groaned, and the air grew thick with Harold's voice. "You'll pay for this." By dawn, the workshop was empty, save for Eliza, trembling among the shattered remains. She locked the door behind her and left Ashwick for good. But some say the puppets were never truly destroyed. Travelers report hearing whispers near the dollmaker's house, and a light flickers in the window late at night. And sometimes, they say, Harold's puppets find their way home.